The pincer formation is out, and we've been testing it all freaking week. And this video is going to be dedicated to helping you understand what this formation does, what all the inscriptions do, because it's not what you think. So stick around as we break down pincer formation and all the special inscriptions. Everybody, I'm War Daddy Chatsky. You know me. I'm the guy that puts out a bunch of content all the time. Live streaming, doing stuff, testing stuff, figuring out what works and what doesn't work in this game, and all the different attributes. And that is what this channel is dedicated to, helping you guys be the better players, get as much out of the game as you can, and giving you real rock life experience. And so from that standpoint, we are going to break this thing down. When the new formation came out earlier this week, a lot of people were speculating on what it does, how this thing works, but we just decided to start testing it. So we just decided to load up custom arcs, use it. Then what I did was go ahead and convert all of my arch stuff and echelon stuff over to pincer, because I think it is that good. Okay, in the field, we saw the results from my live streams. I'll have those at the end of the video. I'll have those to where you can watch those live streams, watch the test results from them, and kind of figure that out. But the main thing we want to talk about here, and just so everybody understands, are the two main inscriptions that have a little bit of a weird effect. It's Toppler and it's Demolisher. Before we get into those, just right off the rip, any emblem slot for just about any formation is gonna just be a straight boost to whatever that formation is. With Arch, it's a boost to normal damage, which is phenomenal. For Wedge, it's a boost to skill damage. For Delta, it's a boost to combo damage. And for now, Pincer, it's a boost to smite damage. Okay, and so with that, you have the emblem, and then you have the flag. The flag is generally a mitigating situation. On all the special inscriptions, it's going to mitigate 5% of combo damage. And then whenever you deal smite, you're going to take 10% less damage for the next 3 seconds. Pretty good middle of the road special inscription, nothing phenomenal about it. It's not like invincible for Arch, that's just really, really good. This is something that's pretty simple. But now we get into these two things up here. Okay, and we were trying to figure out how this worked, because the wording, they need to fix this wording based on the information that we got from support. The user's troop gain 5% boost to smite damage. That's great. So that's the first part of it. It's generally binary here. It's got that effect, and then whenever their troop deals smite damage, the target troop takes 20% increased smite damage for the next 3 seconds. This effect can trigger multiple times in a single second. Okay, before entering its cooldown. So what you have to understand, when this FX triggers multiple times in a single second, it's just like, wait a minute, who does smite damage more than once a second? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And we were trying to figure this out, and what we found out was that it's totally different and the wording needs to be adjusted. I will get into it here in a second. Demolisher, the same type of deal. It's binary. You have the 5% boost to smite damage. Whenever the troop deals smite damage, it has a 75% chance to ignore 50% of the target's defense. This effect can trigger multiple times in a single second. How is that working? Multiple times in a single second? You don't do more than one smite. It's not combo. It's not like you're doing 2 and 3 and 4 smites in 1 second. So this doesn't make any sense. And it references that before ending its cooldown. But then this is kind of a trifecta. There's a third element to this. If it only triggers once, the user's troop gains 100 extra rage. This is what you guys have to understand about this. There's a big cooldown on this, but 100 rage is phenomenal. Like, they should have put that on the destructive. Okay, except they take 100 rage. So let's look at this. We start asking support what they think about this. So I'm going to go through this with you and kind of help you guys understand. So this is from Dom, okay? Dom has been cooking with me all week. You guys have heard him on my live streams. One of my best and closest friends in the game as far as playing the game, understanding the mechanics. He nerds out quite a bit. He's in King's Codex a lot. He's one of my buddies. So he sent this. he's asking, can you explain Toppler and Demolisher on the Pincer formation? They're not stacking. Like you're saying it's a stack, but these don't stack. Is there a certain way it stacks, or can you gain the buffs? For example, I ran multiple tests with Luce where his active skill plus overdrawing presence, that's a skill that Luce has where he can actually do additional smite damage, and it happens maybe in the same turn. It would align on one single target. Both inscriptions only applied one stack. And here's the answer from support. Thank you for contacting us. They are different effects, so can't say they stack or not. Still, they can both apply at the same time. So they're talking about Toppler and Demolisher applying at the same time, okay, which is normal. That makes sense. This may be because of the active skill hit one target. You can try to hit 5 targets. Okay, oh, wait a minute. Now they're saying something different than what the description is. So we reply, interesting. So you mentioned 5 marches. If Luce hits 5 targets, Toppler, for example, would only stack 20 normal damage received on the specific march. So one march would be able to receive the 100 normal damage received. And they said, yes, one march will not be 100% bonus. If Luce hits 5 targets, then the 20% bonus for each target. Okay, this is an AoE debuff that these inscriptions are doing. And I think it's the first AoE debuff we've had on any inscription. So that is something new. So let's look at this some more. He says, is this correct? It's an AoE stacking debuff effect for both. He said the developer said it will not stack if multiple troops trigger this effect at the same time. One troop can receive a 20% normal damage received and a 50% ignored. So this is an AoE debuff. That's what this is. So let's go back in here and look at this and how this thing works. So you go to Toppler. You're going to get the boost to smite damage. Whenever the troop deals smite damage, the target takes 20% increased smite damage for the next 3 seconds. This effect can trigger multiple times in a single second. Okay, what this should say is the target, whenever the troop deals smite damage, all targets take 20% increased smite damage for 3 seconds, and just end it there. That's what they should have said. Okay, because it does not stack on top of itself. It's just an AoE debuff. And I'm sure the developers will figure this out and they will get this corrected in the verbiage, because this is not a stacking situation. This is an AoE debuff situation. Okay, and we'll do it over here with Demolisher. Whenever the troop deals smite damage, it has a 75% chance to ignore 50% of the target's defense. This effect can trigger multiple times in a single second. Okay, it's not triggering multiple times in a single second. I think that what they're saying is whatever AoE you put on, whatever marches you're hitting with Smite, it's got a 75% chance on each individual march to ignore 50% of the target's defense. Okay, and then if you only hit one, like if you're only hitting one target, then it's gonna reference the trigger here. If it's not an AoE and you just hit one target, the Yielder's troops gains 100 extra rage. We saw that in the reports. 100 extra rage is phenomenal. It's great. Now the cooldown on this is not very much fun, 10 seconds. But basically what this is saying, and this is a dual purpose inscription. People have to understand this. If you're in the field, you're going to hit multiple marches, okay? So odds are you're going to hit multiple marches, and multiple marches in AoE are going to get the defense ignored effect on it when you hit those marches, okay? Because it just takes more than one. So let's say you hit 5 marches and at a 75% clip, 3 of the 5 marches you hit, you're going to ignore their defense. Okay, so that's multiple marches. You're not going to get the rage at that point. However, if you're in a rally or garrison situation, it doesn't matter if you have AoE effect on your skill damage or your smite damage or not. It doesn't matter. If you just hit one target and this thing fires off, then you get the rage. Okay, and that's what people have to understand with this. It's kind of dual setting. You get benefit if you hit AoE and you apply that debuff, or you apply that basically punch through of defense where you're going to ignore 50% of defense. You do that in AoE in the field, that's great. You're not going to get the rage. You do it in a garrison or a rally, odds are that's on a single target, you get the rage. Okay, that's why this thing is really, really good and potent. And it kind of serves 2 different purposes. I like the way they did that. They just need to word this a little bit differently so people understand. That's why I'm here to help you understand, okay? Same thing over here with Toppler. You're going to take 20% increased smite damage for 3 seconds on the troops that you hit. Okay, so whoever you hit is going to take 20% increased smite damage for 3 seconds. Let's think about this for a second and how powerful Toppler can be. You're literally in a situation to where this is like part of the reason why Boudica, and let me come down to her real quick. Part of the reason why she stayed relevant for a long enough period of time was because she put a 25% skill damage reduction on the target, where the target this was skill damage reduction for herself, but then where is this at? She had a debuff. 50% chance to take 25% bonus to skill damage, normal damage. Their troop is on the map. Their troop takes 25% less skill damage. Okay, so from this, you want to put this. Here it is. Okay, so on her active skill, I knew it was somewhere. She did a 35% skill damage taken increase. Well, she's single target, so she always did that to the target. That's why she was valuable, because you're hammering the target with all these skill damages, and all your marches benefit from this effect right here. Okay, but now, and that's why that was so important. But now it's not a 35% effect, it's a 20% effect. But basically what they're saying is 20% increase to smite damage for 3 seconds, all the targets you hit. Okay, so this honestly makes it more viable for you to have multiple smite marches. Okay, now I'm not suggesting you go all in on Smite, and when BQ comes out, you try to put 3 Smite commanders or 3 Smite marches together. But now all of a sudden we can consider putting 2 Smite marches together for infantry and run a Philip Luce or a Luce Alex, and then run Wallace with BQ. Wallace is coming back, y'all, whether you like it or not. Some of people like me, he never left. He's amazing. He and Luce are like one of my best trading marches. But now some people say, hey, I didn't invest in Wallace. Well, now you might have a chance to go invest in him. I don't necessarily recommend investing in Wallace, but now with BQ coming out, and now that you got effects here that are putting smite damage taken debuffs on multiple targets, why not have more smite commanders hammering away and take advantage of that? That's why it's so important to understand these inscriptions, understand how they work. This stuff is broken, okay? If you've got Arch for the field, if you're running it on Luce and you're running your Arch stuff, okay, you need to consider converting that to Pincer, because in the field, it is insanely so much better. It's unbelievable the kind of ramp up it does, which makes sense, right? Arch isn't necessarily designed for Smite. Now, Smite gets the benefit from the Arch formation, but it's not designed for Smite. And so from that standpoint, this is Arch, and this is what it does. It does all kinds of normal damage dealt boosts and things like that. Invincible is great. Fearless is what I think is one of the best inscriptions you can get in the game. It's a boost to normal damage dealt. That all enhances Smite, but it's not a Smite formation. But now Pincer is. And oh my, it's got some crazy stuff that it does. Now I cut through, and obviously I'm going to be a spender and I'm going to go change all my stuff. However, we'll do a Pincer formation tier list where I've done that for Wedge, I've done it for Arch, I've done it for Hollow Square, I've done it for all the different formations. So we'll do a tier list for each slot. And I'm going to work on that now for Pincer and kind of go through it. I want to test it more, but I figured with the testing we did this week and being able to show everybody the information that we get for the content and all the stuff that we do, I went ahead and just converted everything I had over, because once I saw the results from the custom arc that I could use that and just test it, it was pretty insane. Eventually, all garrisons and rallies that are Smite will eventually switch to this. It's too powerful. Okay, right now you got a lot of kings and a lot of people telling their players and their garrisons and rallies for infantry, hey, hold on, just stick to your Arch stuff, because there's some anti-swarm benefits there, and we don't really know how this is going to perform. But I promise you, the first CPO Milianus with William Wallace, or when the new commander comes out, the CPO Milianus with BQ, the first rally that fires up with a Pincer, and you see how potent that is, it's going to be like, oh, okay. All you Smite guys, go ahead and transfer over to Pincer. And when you see the actual effects that Pincer gives, Gorgo, and you putting Gorgo with the Pincer formation, all of a sudden she has a chance to beat Attila Subutai in a mono troop type situation. Okay, so as a king or somebody that's suggesting what to do with this formation, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's forwards or passes. You're going to want to put a Gorgo with a high smite damage behind her, and that's Tokugawa. That's the new commander that's coming out. At some point, you're going to say, okay, all you arch infantry players, switch to smite. Switch to smite. It's just too good. It is way too good because you're running arch, and Attila Subutai is wrecking Gorgos right now. Just wrecking it. The only thing that really counters it to trade remotely close to even is having a Gorgo CY artifact situation. So that's what's eventually going to happen with Pincer. If you guys like the video, please throw a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. The subscriptions are going through the roof. We're approaching 30,000. We're working on a cool prize giveaway and a fun event that we're going to do for 30,000 subscribers. And we just encourage you to join our Discord. The Discord link is in the description. We reach 5,000 members on our Discord. We got a cool $250 giveaway going on right now in our announcements channel. You can check that out because I need help with this city layout. It sucks. It's just purely efficient, and I want something more aesthetically pleasing. So I've got a lot of players submitting cool city layouts for me to take a look at. So consider doing that. Go into our Discord and check it out and be a part of the community. It's a fun-loving community. We're having a blast with this game, and we just love putting out the content. Until next time, you guys take it easy, broskies.